Have you ever been with a woman and thought to yourself, is she into me? Maybe she's laughing at all your jokes, touching your arm, or giving you those long, lingering looks. But then doubt creeps in. Am I reading too much into this? The truth is, most men miss the signals. They either hesitate too long and lose the moment, or misinterpret things and make a move too soon. That's where Stoicism can help. Stay with me until the end, because understanding these 6 signs can change your love life forever. And if you're new here, make sure to subscribe to the channel and like the video. It helps more than, you're at a cafe, sitting across from a woman you find incredibly attractive. She's playing with her hair, making strong eye contact, and leaning in when you speak. Your heart is racing. You think, is this happening? But instead of taking the lead, you second-guess yourself. You analyze every little detail. Maybe she's just being friendly. Maybe she's like this with everyone. And so you do nothing. An hour later, she leaves, and you're left wondering what could have been. Sound familiar? It's because most men weren't taught to read attraction signals properly. Worse, some act out of desperation instead of confidence. That's why Stoicism is so important. It teaches you emotional control, awareness, and the ability to recognize reality as it is, without wishful thinking. Let's break down the 6 signs that she wants you. Sign 1, she touches you a lot. All right, let me take you back to a moment you've probably experienced before. You're sitting across from a woman, maybe at a cafe, maybe at a bar, or even just hanging out somewhere casual. The conversation is flowing. She's laughing at your jokes, even the bad ones, and then it happens. She touches you. Maybe it's a playful tap on your arm when you tease her. Maybe her hand lingers on your shoulder just a second longer than necessary. Or maybe she accidentally brushes against your leg under the table, but neither of you move away. At that moment, your heart beats a little faster, doesn't it? Your brain starts analyzing everything. Was that on purpose? Did she mean to touch me? Or am I reading too much into this? Sound familiar? Most guys overthink this exact moment. Instead of recognizing the clear signal in front of them, they hesitate. They second guess. They convince themselves it was nothing. But here's the truth. Women don't touch just anyone. Think about your own experiences. Do you casually touch people you have zero attraction to? Probably not, right? Because touch is personal. It's intimate. It's a subtle way of saying, I feel comfortable with you. I want to be closer. Now here's where it gets interesting. Your reaction to her touch changes everything. Most men either freeze up or get too excited. They suddenly become awkward, either pulling away or worse, overreacting by touching her back too much. Too soon, both are mistakes. A stoic man, a confident man, does neither. He simply notices and stays in the moment. He allows the energy to build naturally. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." If you believe she's just being polite, you'll ignore the moment. But if you understand what's really happening, you'll recognize it as a green light. So the next time a woman finds excuses to touch you, pay attention. It's not random. It's not meaningless. It's a sign that she wants to be closer. Now let me ask you, have you ever had a moment like this? A time when a woman's touch sent a rush of excitement through you? Tell me in the comments. I'd love to hear your story. Sign 2, her body language opens up. Let's take a moment and go back in time to a moment that might feel very familiar to you. You're sitting across from her, maybe in a cozy cafe, maybe on a park bench, or maybe even in your car after a long evening together. The conversation is easy, effortless. There's something in the air, something you can feel, but can't quite put into words. And then you start noticing the little things. She's leaning in just a bit closer than necessary. She's not sitting stiffly. Instead, her body is relaxed. Her shoulders slightly angled toward you. Her feet are pointed in your direction, as if on some subconscious level, she's drawn to you. Maybe she tilts her head when you speak, exposing her neck, one of the most vulnerable and feminine gestures a woman can make. Now let me ask you something. Have you ever been in a situation where a woman said one thing, but her body told you something entirely different? Maybe she said she was just having fun, but she kept moving closer, twirling her hair, licking her lips. Maybe she told you she wasn't sure about her feelings, but her eyes locked onto yours a little too long, and she kept finding reasons to stay near you. That's not an accident. Women's words may try to protect their emotions, but their body language? That's raw, unfiltered truth. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." If you overthink and doubt yourself, you'll ignore the signs. But if you truly observe without hesitation, You'll see when she's inviting you closer. Here's the key. A woman who is attracted to you will not close herself off. She won't cross her arms, turn her body away, or create distance. Instead, she will do the opposite. Her body will say, I feel safe with you. I want to be near you. So next time you're with a woman and you feel that energy pause, look at her posture, her movements. Is she pulling away or is she drawing you in? Have you ever had that moment where you knew something was there, even before a single word was spoken? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your story. And 3, she laughs even when you're not funny. Let's rewind to a moment you might have experienced before. You're sitting across from a woman, maybe at a dinner table, maybe at a bar, or maybe just walking together on a quiet evening. You crack a joke. Not your best work. In fact, if you're being honest, it wasn't even that funny. But then she laughs. Not just a polite chuckle. No, this is different. Her eyes light up. Her body leans toward you. And for a second, it's like you're the only person in the world. At that moment, something hits you. Wait, was that really that funny? You start replaying the joke in your head. There's no way that was a 10-10 joke. And you're right, it wasn't. But here's the thing. She's not laughing because of the joke itself. She's laughing because of you. Now think about this. When was the last time you laughed uncontrollably at something that wasn't actually funny? Probably when you were around someone you really liked. Because laughter isn't just about humor. It's about connection. Women laugh more around men they're attracted to. It's a subconscious signal that she enjoys your presence, that she's comfortable, that she wants to keep the conversation going. But here's the mistake most guys make. They either, 1, doubt themselves and think, oh, she's just being polite. 2, get cocky and start forcing jokes, thinking they need to keep being funny to hold her interest. Both approaches are wrong. Marcus Aurelius once said, very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself and your way of thinking. That applies here too. You don't need to be the funniest guy in the room. You just need to be present, natural, and aware. So next time she laughs at something that wasn't that funny, take note. That's not politeness, it's attraction. Now let me ask you, have you ever been in a situation where a woman kept laughing at everything you said, even the dumb stuff? Did you recognize it as a sign? Tell me in the comments, I'd love to hear your story. Sign 4. She makes excuses to spend more time with you. Let's go back to a moment you might have lived before. You're hanging out with a woman you like. Maybe it's a coffee date. Maybe you bumped into each other at an event. Or maybe you're just having a casual conversation at work or school. The time is passing fast and you both feel it. Then when the conversation should naturally end, she does something interesting. Instead of saying, well, I should get going, she lingers. She finds a reason, oh, I actually need to grab something from that store over there, or hey, do you want to walk with me to my car? Maybe she suddenly remembers she needs help with something, or suggests grabbing another drink, even though she just finished hers. At that moment, you might think, does she really need to do this right now, or is this an excuse to spend more time together? Let me tell you, it's an excuse. Women don't waste time on men they're not interested in. If she was bored, she would end the interaction quickly. But when she wants to be around you, she will keep the conversation going, even if she has to get a little creative. Now let me ask you something. Have you ever been with someone where it felt like time just kept stretching, where neither of you wanted to leave, even though you both had things to do? That's attraction at play. That's chemistry. But here's where most men mess up. Instead of recognizing this as an opportunity, they hesitate. They think, maybe I should just leave first so I don't seem too eager. But a Stoic man knows better. He understands that attraction isn't about playing hard to get, it's about awareness. Marcus Aurelius once said, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. If she's giving you excuses to stay, the moment is already there. You don't need a perfect line. You don't need to analyze it too much. You just need to stay present and enjoy it. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever had a woman make excuses just to stay near you? Maybe she forgot something or suddenly needed your help with the smallest thing. Let me know in the comments, I'd love to hear your story. Sign 5. She remembers the little things about you. Let's take a trip down memory lane. Think about the last time you were talking to a woman and out of nowhere, she mentioned something specific about you. Something small. Something you didn't even realize she had noticed. Maybe it was your favorite drink. You casually mentioned once that you love black coffee, and the next time you're together, she says, I figured you'd like this place, they have great black coffee. Or maybe it's something even deeper. Maybe you once told her about a childhood dream, an old injury, or your love for a certain book. Weeks later, she brings it up. Hey, I saw that book you love at the store today and thought of you. That's when it hits you. She's really listening to me. Now let me ask, have you ever talked to someone and felt like they weren't paying attention? Like your words just disappeared into the air? When a woman remembers the little things about you, it's not an accident. It means she cares. It means she's invested. Because let's be honest, people don't remember details about things they don't care about. Think about yourself. Do you remember random facts about people you have no interest in? Probably not. But when you like someone, their words stick with you. You notice their habits, their preferences, the way they like their coffee or the songs they hum under their breath. Women are the same. When she brings up something small, something you didn't expect her to remember, that's attraction speaking. But here's the mistake most guys make. They don't acknowledge it. A Stoic man, a man who understands attraction, doesn't just brush it off. He notices. He appreciates it. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Dwell on the beauty of life. Watch the stars and see yourself running with them." When a woman remembers the little things, she's showing you a glimpse into her world, a world where she sees you as someone important. So let me ask you, have you ever had a woman surprise you by remembering something small about you? Something you didn't even realize she noticed? Tell me in the comments, I'd love to hear your story. Sign 6, she teases you playfully. Let's go back to a moment that might feel very familiar to you. You're sitting with a woman, maybe at a cafe, maybe on a park bench, or maybe just walking side by side. The conversation is flowing, the energy is light, and suddenly, she playfully mocks you. Maybe you mispronounced a word and she mimics you with a smirk. Maybe she teases you about your haircut, calling you Mr. Fancy Hair. Or maybe she rolls her eyes and says, "Oh wow, you really think you're that smooth, huh?" And for a second you wonder, is she making fun of me? No, she's flirting. Now let me ask you, have you ever been around a woman who never teased you? Who kept the conversation dry and serious like a formal business meeting? How did that feel? Probably dull. No energy, no spark. Now think about the opposite. A woman who playfully challenges you, who laughs when you pretend to act tough, who jokingly calls you out on something small. Doesn't that feel different? Doesn't it feel alive? That's because teasing is one of the oldest forms of attraction. It's a sign that she's comfortable around you, that she wants to keep the conversation going, that she's invested in the interaction. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." In other words, don't take it personally. Too many guys get defensive when a woman teases them. They either shut down or try too hard to prove themselves. But a Stoic man, a man who understands attraction, does something different. He leans into it. He teases back, he smiles. He keeps the energy playful. Because deep down he knows if she's teasing him, she's thinking about him. And if she's thinking about him, well, let's just say things are heading in the right direction. So let me ask you, have you ever had a woman playfully tease you? Maybe she made fun of your music taste, your goofy smile, or the way you text? Did you realize it was flirting? Tell me in the comments, I'd love to hear your story. Most men either rush or hesitate. Stoic men do neither. They recognize reality for what it is without desperation or fear. If a woman is showing these 6 signs she's interested, it's that simple. The only question left is, do you have the confidence to respond? If you've watched this far, you're already ahead of 90% of men. The next step is simple: apply what you've learned. Observe, stay grounded, and take the right action at the right time. If you found this video valuable, make sure to like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments if you've noticed these signs before. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.